Hey everybody, this is Andre here with the Kevin Breeze channel, and in this video, we're going to be doing a comparison between the Samsung Galaxy A02s and the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra. Let's get started. So the Samsung Galaxy A02s has a 6.5-inch PLS IPS LCD display with a resolution of 720p, a PPI of 270, an aspect ratio of 20:9, and a screen-to-body ratio of 81.8%. We got a water drop notch here for the front-facing camera, and this camera is 5 megapixels. The Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra has a 6.8-inch 120Hz dynamic AMOLED display with a resolution of 1440p, a PPI of 515, an aspect ratio of 20:9, and a screen-to-body ratio of 89.8%. We got a hole punch here for the front-facing camera, and this camera is 40 megapixels. So the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra definitely has a much better display than the A02s. With a dynamic AMOLED display, the colors are going to be a lot brighter and more powerful than the display of the A02s that only has a PLS IPS LCD display. The S21 Ultra has a 120Hz display, and that's going to make a big difference. The movement on the screen of this phone is going to be a lot faster and more fluid than on the A02s. You can even see that by how the animation on the screen looks. This one versus this. There's definitely a big difference, and that of course carries over to things like videos and gaming, where it's going to be a lot more. So if you're doing any kind of content consumption like video streaming, then it's going to look a lot better on the S21 Ultra. The resolution is just higher, and the screen is again much larger. In terms of overall design, the S21 looks a lot more high-end and really feels high-end as well. Definitely what you would expect from a flagship phone. It has really high quality materials, whereas with the A02s, it feels a lot lighter, a lot less sturdy, and the materials don't feel nearly as good quality. It feels mostly just like cheap plastic. For storage, the A02s is getting 64 gigabytes of internal storage versus the S21 with 128. So with the S21 Ultra, you're getting double the storage, and that really is going to make a difference these days. With 128 gigabytes, you're most likely not going to run out of space if you're more of an average user. If you have a lot of photos and videos, or if you have lots of apps like games that take up a lot of space, you're still going to be fine. And really, for the average user, the 64 gigabytes that comes with the A02s, even that should be completely fine. But if you're shooting a lot of videos, even 1080p videos are big, and the higher resolutions above that are even bigger. So with the S21 Ultra having 128 gigabytes, if you are shooting lots of videos, this is going to be a huge advantage. The A02s does not have wireless charging, but the S21 Ultra supports 15-watt wireless charging. So if that is a feature that's important to you, definitely keep that in mind. As far as security goes, the Samsung Galaxy A02s does not have a fingerprint scanner, but it does have face unlock, so at least you have that. The Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra has both a fingerprint scanner and face unlock, so that is an advantage for the S21 Ultra. It has an extra method of unlocking the phone, so if face unlock isn't working out very well for you, then you can always try the fingerprint scanner too. This fingerprint scanner is in the display, and it is really fast. Usually in-display fingerprint scanners aren't quite as fast as a fingerprint scanner that's an external one, but this one is actually really good, and I think it's about the same speed. Not only that, but it of course has the nice look of an in-display fingerprint scanner. So overall, this fingerprint scanner is definitely a big win for this phone. Let's try it one more time. Real fast. Definitely impressive. Now we're going to take a look at the rear camera setups of each phone. With the A02s, we have a 13 megapixel rear camera, a 2 megapixel depth sensing camera, and a 2 megapixel macro camera. So definitely not the most impressive features out there. It's missing an ultra wide camera, and the regular rear camera isn't really that powerful either. With the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra, we got a 108 megapixel rear camera, a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera, a 10 megapixel telephoto lens, and a 10 megapixel periscope telephoto lens. So this camera really has pretty much every feature you could ask for. As far as video goes, The Samsung Galaxy A02s is able to shoot in qualities up to 1080p in both the rear and the front cameras. The Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra can shoot in 8K in the rear camera and 4K in the front. So there's a huge difference in camera performance here. On one hand, the Samsung Galaxy A02s is not really going to be very high quality, and I wouldn't use this camera for professional purposes where the quality really matters. Now, sending pictures to friends or doing something casual like that, maybe a social media post here and there, is going to be okay, but anything other than that is probably going to be a disappointment to you if you have this phone. The Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra, on the other hand, is going to be perfect for professional purposes. This phone has one of the best cameras on the market right now. If you're shooting lots of video, not only do you get the capability of shooting in 8K with this phone, but you also get storage to back it up. So if you shoot lots of 8K or 4K or even 1080p videos, for the most part, you can still store them on the phone. And as far as the cameras themselves go, the quality is, as you would expect from a flagship phone, super professional level. I could even see someone doing legit photography with this camera. Internally, the Samsung Galaxy A02s is getting 4GB of RAM with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 450 processor. We ran a Geekbench 5 benchmark test on this phone, and it came back with a single core score of 129 and a multi-core score of 488, so it's really not very powerful. This phone is really going to be meant for your basic activities like sending text messages, making calls, browsing the web, and going on social media, that sort of thing. You're not going to want to do much gaming or photo and video editing, anything like that on this phone. And if you do attempt those activities, it's probably not going to run them very well. The Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra is getting 12GB of RAM with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 888 processor. This one came back with a single core score of 1126 and a multi-core score of 3483. So this one is a lot more powerful than the A02s by many times, honestly. And for this phone, you're going to be able to do all your basic things. That's a given. But the main benefit of having this type of processing power is going to be more for the high-end activities like photo and video editing and gaming. That's stuff that really takes a lot of processing power. This is by far one of the most powerful processors on the market in smartphones, and it really lives up to that because there's not really anything that this phone can't do. To give you a better idea of what these phones look like in action, I'm going to do a quick demonstration. We're going to start by opening Google Chrome. So as you can see there, the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra opened a whole lot faster than the A02s. We're going to try a web page. Again, this isn't even done loading yet. There we go. The Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra, once again, is a lot faster than the A02s, and that difference is just going to be more and more apparent the higher level activities you go. So if you're doing something like video editing, for example, you're going to see the difference for sure. The Samsung Galaxy A02s is most likely going to struggle a lot with that kind of thing, whereas the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra is going to be able to breeze through that no problem. These phones have the same battery as well. With a 5000 milliamp hour battery, you're going to be getting not only a lot of life per charge, but the longevity is better as well. Down the road, at a point where most phones with smaller batteries will have worn out, these phones are still going to be able to keep going because when their batteries degrade, they're large enough to the point where you don't notice it as much. Now, in conclusion, which one of these phones is better? In every way, there's a difference. The Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra is the better device. It has a better display, better camera features, better security features, double the storage, a much more powerful processor, and a lot more. This phone is really on an entirely different level. But that being said, if you're only using a phone for basic purposes, like sending text messages and making calls, and occasionally taking a few pictures here and there, maybe browsing the web and going on social media, then the Samsung Galaxy A02s is probably going to be all you really need, because in that situation, the extra benefits and features you get owning the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra really aren't going to be valuable to you if you don't actually use them. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.